Okay, for the second trigger point for routing documents to Bluebeam Studio for plan review, the standard configuration has created a plans distribution task and a result of routed for review that will be used to initiate the final step in routing the documents to Bluebeam. But before we can do this, you'll notice there are corrections on this particular workflow task, and we need to complete those corrections to finish the routing process. So let's look at the corrections. So what you will see in the corrections is we have synchronized a list of corrections with the list of parallel plan review tasks for each department. So if your agency has 4 departments that are going to participate in parallel plan review, then you will have 4 corrections that you need to set up for each department. If your agency has 5, you will need to have 5. The naming conventions in the corrections exactly matches the task names in the workflow. And we have set some standard statuses to determine which departments receive the documents for review. So I will set several departments to receive the documents, and I will set several departments to not receive the documents. This allows the agency to control on a case-by-case basis which departments participate in the parallel plan review. Okay, so I've updated the corrections. Now let's save these corrections. And now let's update the routed for review status. When I updated that, Velosimo is doing multiple things in the background. We are finishing the routing process of the documents to Bluebeam, and we're also getting any of the users in any of the departments that were marked as participating in the review, and we're assigning those users to the Bluebeam project and session in the background. So you will see here when I refresh my screen and show workflow, the 5 parallel tasks that I have set up for my plan review match what I entered within the corrections entry. So the ones that I marked that should receive the documents are the documents, or the task is set to a status of docs in Bluebeam, and this indicates that this task is waiting for the plan reviewer to go complete the plan review within the Bluebeam Studio product. For departments where I marked no review, we've updated the workflow task to no review and closed it out, as they will not be participating in this review. And now let's review this configuration in the Cityworks administration tool. Okay, now let's review the workflow status configuration for the routed for review task and status. So the routed for review status will move the workflow to the next task. It also triggers Velosimo to get the departments for the plan reviewers that are assigned for this plan review and add them to the Bluebeam project and session. The other element that is required in this step for configuration is the setup of the corrections to match the parallel review tasks for each department participating in the plan review. So let's review the checklist setup or correction setup in Cityworks now. Okay, and in reviewing the checklist or correction items that are associated to the routed for review workflow task, you will see that we've created a line item for each reviewing department. The description of that line item in the correction setup will exactly match, or needs to exactly match, the name of the workflow task that is being used in the parallel review process. So if we quickly notice our names here, review-building, review-planning. If we look at our workflow task names for the parallel review tasks in our workflow, the names will exactly match that setup, review-planning, review-zoning. And this is how we correlate the two items together and allow for the connector to do what is needed. So this setup is also required to allow for the multiple department parallel plan review process. In addition to the line items, we need to add status values to the checklist or correction items. And if we review one of the line items, you will see that it has a group code of PL route. And if we look at that group code, we can expand and see that we have two statuses. These are the statuses that are controlling whether or not a department is included or not included in the plan review process. Again, these values are going to be configurable to match the agency business naming conventions and business rules, but we do need these statuses configured in some fashion to allow for the connector to properly work.